It is the SMT Media Network. We've got an association video here for today tracking the LA Lakers development over the course of the last several weeks. Things are looking pretty good for them right now. They get the win against the Clippers, interstate rivals, or I should say inner city rivals, 108-102. They pull off the win, and they did so by holding on to the lead for the most of the game. I don't really think the Clippers ever had the lead at any point. And they did it with their typical approach, which is a combination of scoring from both Luka Doncic and LeBron James. And with respect to kind of the box score, shooting-wise, they did pretty good. They shot 43% from three, 49% from the field overall. They did a nice job at securing those points in possessions where they had to get them. There were a couple points where the Clippers made it close, but the rebounding was pretty even between the two teams. I do think turnovers-wise, the Lakers did turn over the ball a little bit too much. Specifically, I'll speak more to that to Luka and LeBron, but that's kind of become part of their identity, right? Those two guys have become really turnover-prone in the last several games. And, you know, they're still getting wins, so it isn't a huge concern. But against some of the better teams, I believe that those things could become issues. So it's something to consider. Again, doing enough to win, you don't really argue outcomes, you know what I mean? So as a coach, you could say, well, there's things we could work on and there's things we can improve, but so far so good. There's nothing really to complain too much about. So the Clippers could not muster up enough offense to really compete with the Lakers. I'm looking at some of the items and some of the outputs from the players over at the Clippers, and you didn't get anything out of James Harden. All right, he continues to shoot poorly, 4 of 14 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3. And also with respect to just, quality looks and taking good shots and being consistent, he hasn't been able to do that against the Lakers. 33 points for Kawhi. He's done pretty good against the Lakers, 3 of 7 from 3, 13 of 23 overall. And with respect to the bench, you didn't really get much. And Chris Dunn much quieter this game compared to the last one. Not bad, 7 of 12 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3. But you didn't get anything outside of Bogdanovich. The bench just didn't give you anything, right? So you got guys like Amir Coffey, who played 22 minutes, got you 3 points. Nick Batum, I mean, that is an old player, right? He really can't do much, or the expectation is, you can't expect too much from Norman Powell. Maybe a re-injury, played 9 minutes, got 4 points. I don't know, Ivica Zubac, obviously he's a matchup issue for most teams that don't have a true center. But I think collectively what the Lakers did, and this is what they've been doing, is they've been using a committee at center at the 5, right? So you get a combination of Jackson Hayes and then a couple other guys. So you see a little bit of that from Jarrett Vanderbilt. You see a little bit from Dorian Finney-Smith, playing some of the big positions, and LeBron kind of slides to the power forward spot at times too with respect to defense. And you can kind of even create some matchup issues, right? Dalton Connect actually had a pretty good game off the bench, 19 points. I think he played about 25 minutes. So we got the answer to some of the injury problems from the Lakers, thinking who was going to soak up the minutes with Rui injured and also with Austin Reeves kind of suffering that, calf soreness or a calf pull of some sort. Luka, 29 points in 37 minutes of action, 9 of 17 shooting, 5 of 12 from 3. He had 6 turnovers. All right, something that we spoke about in several other games. LeBron finished the game with 17 points on 6 of 17 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3. Not a good shooting night for LeBron, but it's not really a situation where if he doesn't score, the Lakers can't win. They have good enough players around them, right? Especially with Luka. He can do a lot of that scoring too. But for LeBron, it's doing some of the other things because it's what the team needs. So it's the assists. He had 9. It's the steals. It's the blocks. He's been an active defender for the last couple of months, and it's led to wins in terms of the win column. And that's why I don't know if they're in 3rd or if they're in 2nd in the West now, but that's why they're ripping off games. LeBron is doing the things that they need to win. Doesn't necessarily mean he has to have 15 assists. It doesn't necessarily mean he has to have 40 points. The way that they're winning and the way that they're finding ways to win is when LeBron is doing what they need them to do, fulfilling the roles that other players can't or won't. So some other things that are important. Vando played 22 minutes. That's up from his minutes restriction of about 15. He dropped 8 points. You're going to see him get an increased role, obviously, over time. but that's really it. I mean, they started Gabe Vincent. I don't know if that's going to be permanent until further notice, but it's a good thing for them to get supporting play from other guys. You know, it's just something that they're going to have to do while those other two are out. Rui has become a staple of their starting lineup, and the same thing with Austin Reeves as a scoring option, right? He's become very, very reliable. So overall, here's kind of my take on the game, right? 108 to 102, the Lakers win. I think they've won 5 or 6 games in a row. All right, let's take a look at some of the things that they have coming down the pipeline. All right. With respect to the standings, they move into second. They've won 6 in a row, 8 of their last 10 games. So they're very hot right now. If I kind of look at some of the, I guess we'll say future looking, you have the Pelicans next. You have the Knicks after that. Then you have the Celtics and Nets, Bucks and Nuggets. There's a couple games in there that are going to be challenging. The Celtics game will be a challenge. The Bucks will be a challenge. The Nuggets will be a challenge. You know, the Knicks can be, but these are games that the Lakers can have, right? So if I'm looking at the next 5, if the Lakers win 4, I mean, they're sitting pretty in the West, because that probably puts them, while they probably can't catch the Thunder, obviously, they're trying to create a little bit of space between them and the Nuggets. They're trying to create some space between them and the Grizz and the Rockets. They've positioned themselves well away from the Clippers. But now that's what really the focus is going to be. They're playing pretty good basketball, guys. Defensively, they're playing well enough. It's keeping them into games. They're not scoring a ton of points, right? If you look at the scores for the Lakers, you know, it's like they're scoring like 102, 106. They're not scoring a bunch, but they're scoring enough to win based on how they're able to play defense. Their defense has been good for the last couple of months. And I don't know whose schemes, I don't know who's been the one that's been developing it. People are starting to give JJ Redick credit. I think I lean towards one of the more like the assistants. I think you got a lot of prior NBA head coaching assistants that are really helping him along with some of those things, the foundations of, team and team building and stuff like that. JJ doesn't have the credentials. He doesn't have the experience, but his bench does, right? If you look at his bench, you've got guys that are loaded with head coaching experience, head coaches that have even been to the NBA Finals, right? So the perfect storm, the perfect things are happening right now at LA. It's actually a really good time if you're a Lakers fan, right? The team is finding ways to win even when certain guys aren't available. The team's really coming together defensively. That keeps you in games, all right? So, this is good. This is a good win. You're looking at the next few games, and the Lakers can win a lot of those. The Lakers are looking good. They definitely are. I've come around to the Lakers. I didn't like what I saw in the first couple months of the season. I definitely like them a lot more now. Luka cleans up those turnovers. LeBron cleans up those turnovers. Then I like them in a situation where they can win in the first round of the playoffs. They can compete with some of the better teams in the West. And I'm not saying they're going to win the finals. I'm not saying they're going to get to the Western Conference Finals. Those are hard things to do. But I do like them to compete with some of the better teams if they're playing a good brand of basketball. So far, so good. The defense is there. They've improved over the course of the season. Luka, I guess, is getting in shape, right? He's playing 30-plus minutes a game now. Hopefully he's over the calf injury, whatever things are going on. The NBA is better when the Lakers are good, right? You got rivalries. You got the LeBron Luka thing is interesting and intriguing. The media loves it, right? It's LA. Right, so all those things in place, and who knows? Maybe they could make some noise and win some games in the playoffs, and of course compete for an opportunity to get to the Western Conference Finals. JJ Redick would love that because they fired Darvin Ham for him, and that's the standard, right? Darvin Ham was able to get to the Western Conference Finals where he lost to the Denver Nuggets in a sweep. Can they be better than that? We'll see. But things are looking good right now. Things are looking good for the Lakers. They're playing good basketball, and shout out to LeBron. I think outside of the turnovers, he's actually playing well, and he's doing what the team needs to win. And that's an indication that he's kind of maybe making some sacrifices. He seemed like he was really focused on stat padding and all those records earlier in the year, and now it seems to me like he just wants to win, and I think that needs to be celebrated. I think the mentality change, and the commitment to the defensive end is what makes the Lakers capable of winning a lot of these games. All right, so that's really it. Lakers win 108 to 102. Good outcomes for the Lakers. we'll see if this train can keep going. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next video.